Hi, in the previous lecture, we were discussing about the requirements of process synchronization. In that lecture, we discussed about the primary as well as secondary requirements like mutual exclusion, progress, bounded wait, busy waiting problem. Okay, so in that lecture, we discussed those points theoretically. So we will get to know more clear idea about all those concepts when we will apply process synchronization technique. Okay, so in this video we will discuss about lock variable. Let me come to this side about lock variable, and we will see how lock variable will help in process synchronization. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Okay, so let me start with this. So let's come to the theoretical point first. Lock variable, it is a software. Here I've written SW means software. It is a software mechanism implemented in user mode. Okay. So it is a software mechanism which is implemented in user mode. Actually, for the time being, you just memorize this concept. It is a software mechanism implemented in user mode because now you will not understand after some time when I will finish test and set instruction, then definitely you will understand about this point. But for the time being, just think it as it is a software mechanism. It doesn't require the support from operating system. It simply runs in user mode, not in kernel mode. Okay, it doesn't require any support from the software from the operating system. Okay, so that's the point. And the second point is that it suffers from busy waiting problem. Okay, so we will see how. And also one of the most important point is there mutual exclusion. So we will see that whether mutual exclusion is there in the lock variable or not. Okay, so here you see I have written the code for this lock variable, and we will see how it works. Okay, you see here what I have written: entry section, critical section, and exit section. In the entry section, I have written there is a while loop. It's simply a C programming code fragment. Okay, while in the bracket I have written lock not equal to 0, and the end you see there is a semicolon. Okay, and in the next line I have written lock is equal to 1, and after that it's a critical section. Then again it's at the end there is lock is equal to 0. Okay, so let me tell you how it works. So here lock, lock can have two values, either 0 or 1. So you see lock is equal to 0 or is equal to 1. So lock is equal to 0 means what? Critical section is vacant. Okay, and lock is equal to 1 means what? It's vice versa. Critical section is not vacant. Or you can simply you think it as when lock is equal to 0 means what? Lock is available, and when lock is equal to 1 means what? Lock is not available. Lock is available means what? It is available, you can take the lock. Okay, so while explaining this code, everything will be more clear. So just focus here. So you see this lock variable mechanism can be implemented with many processes, but for the sake of simplicity I am giving you an example with only two processes. Okay, so for example you see there are two processes. Process 1, here I am writing. Okay, here I am writing there are two processes. Okay, is it visible? Okay, there are two processes, process P1 and process P2. Okay, let me see is it visible or not. Yes, visible. There are two processes, process P1 and process P2. So both want to enters into the critical section. Why? Because critical section is a region where the shared resources can be accessed. Okay. So now you see, suppose process P1 got the chance to enter into the critical section and process P1 entered the critical section. But just remember from the last class what I told you, that process must go through the code written in the entry section. After that, the process can enter inside the critical section. So you see here, process P1 have to go through these codes, these entry section codes. This, let me write here, line number 1, 2, 3, 4. So process P1 must go through this line number 1 and 2, which is dedicated to entry section. Okay, and after that process P1 will enter into the critical section. So you see now, you see initially the critical section is vacant. Okay, it is empty. None of the process is present in the critical section. So you see, when the critical section is vacant, it means what? Lock is equal to 0. Okay, so the lock is equal to 0, and you see here in the while loop the condition is written while log is not equal to 0, and after that you see there is a semicolon. Okay, so you see, if the log value is 0 because the critical section is vacant, then it means what? 0 is not equal to 0. Let me write here, 0 is not equal to 0. Is it true or false? Obviously it's false. 0 is obviously equal to 0, but here it is written 0 is not equal to 0. So what will happen? While loop will break. So here you see semicolon is there. Okay, so it means what? Semicolon means what? It is a loop. It's a single statement while loop. Okay, so this loop will break. This loop will break and process P1 will come to the next line. Process P1 has executed line number 1, and you see in line number 1 the while loop is broken because log value is 0 and 0 is not equal to 0. So now process P1, after breaking the while loop, now process P1 comes to line number 2, and here you see log is equal to 1. So now in line number 2 log value is assigned as 1. Okay, so now you see, wait, so now you see in line number 2 log value, so let me rub this, you just note it down. Okay, so in line number 2 just notice log value is assigned as 1. Now it's a log variable. Okay, initially it was 1. Okay, initially it was 1, that's why P1 could enter. That's why while loop got broken, because log 0 is not equal to 0. Okay, so now P1 came to line number 2. Okay, and P1 came to line number 2, and you see in line number 2 log value is log variable is assigned a value 1. So now log variable contains 1. Okay, log variable contains 1, and after that P1 will enter inside the critical section, and now you see P1 is present inside the critical section. Okay, so now the primary requirement of process synchronization is what? One of the most important requirement is mutual exclusion. Okay, so let's see whether mutual exclusion is possible here or not. Mutual exclusion means what? If a process P1 is present in the critical section, then process P2 can't enter inside it. So let's see whether is it possible or not. So now here you see process P1 is inside the critical section. Okay, and process P1 has made the log value as 1. Okay, so now let's try to enter P2 into the critical section. See whether it's possible or not. So now P2 will try to enter here. So P2 will execute line number 1 while log is not equal to 0. So let's see here. Now the log value is 1. Okay, so you see while 1 is not equal to 0. Is it true? 1 is not equal to 0. 1 is not equal to 0. Obviously 1 is not equal to 0. It's true. And we know in since it is a while loop, So see, and since the condition is true, so here P1 got trapped in the loop. Okay, this loop will keep on running until this loop will keep on running if the condition is true. Okay, since here you see the condition is true, 1 is not equal to 0, so this loop is running. Okay, so P1 is here in the while loop. Sorry, P2 got trapped in the while loop. Okay, it means what? P2 now can't come out from this while loop, and P2 can't execute line number 2. Why? Because P2 got trapped in the while loop. Okay, simple. So you see, process P1 is there and process P2 is trapped in the while loop. Simple. And you see here mutual exclusion is not violated. Here mutual exclusion is there. Okay. So now you see, when P2 can enter inside the critical section, P2 has got trapped in the while loop. How then P2 will come out of the while loop? When P1 will come out of the critical section, then only P2 can enter in the critical section. You see how? Suppose P1 has completed its task in the critical section. Okay. Now you see, after completion of the task, P1 will come out of the critical section, and before coming out of the critical section, P1 have to go through this exit section code. Okay, P1 have to go through this exit section code. So now P1 will run this exit. Now P1 is at line number 4. Okay, because P1 has to go through this code. Okay, now see in line number 4, you see what's written, lock is equal to 0. Okay, line number 4, what's written, lock is equal to 0. So now you see again the lock value is assigned as 0. Now the lock value is 0 again. And after line number 4, now P1 came out from the critical section. Okay, now P1 is out of the critical section. Okay, and now see how this exit section code will help P2 to break this loop. You see, now in the exit section code, it's written lock is equal to 0, so the new value of lock is 0. Okay, and now P1 P2 was initially stuck in the while loop. Why? Because the lock value was 1. Okay, because the lock value was 1, but since lock's new value is 0, so now you see here 0. So while 0 not equal to 0, obviously it's false. So since it's false, so now while loop has got broken. Okay, and P2 came out from the trap, and now P2 will execute line number 2. Okay, and after that P2 will enter into the critical section. And you see, after executing line number 2, P2 will again make the log value as 1, and P2 got entered inside the critical section. Okay, and you see here, at a time only one process can enter inside the critical section. And also one thing you can notice, that whenever the log value is 1, it means what? One process is already present inside the critical section. Okay, because you see here, when P2 is inside the critical section, before entering inside the critical section, P2 has made the log value 1. You see here 1. Okay, so it means what? Critical section is not vacant. 1 means what? Critical section is not vacant. And moreover, due to this one, when suppose another process, say P1, when again try to enter into the critical section, so you see, since here the new log value is 1, so P1 will get trapped in this while loop, because you see here 1 is not equal to 0. It's true, and then P1 will get trapped in this while loop. Okay, so in this way, mutual exclusion is there. Till now, everything is fine. Okay, and you see, then how P2 will come out from the critical section? P2 will go through this exit section code, lock is equal to 0. So P2 will make lock is equal to 0 again, and P2 will come out of the critical section. So here is P2 now. Okay. And here you see P1 initially got trapped in the entry section. Okay. Why? Because the log value was 1. Okay. And since the log value is 0, so now you see here P1 will run this code while 0 not equal to 0, it's false. So while loop will be broken and P1 will come out from the while loop trap, and now P1 will execute line number 2. Okay. It means what? P1 will make the value of log 1 again, and now P1 will again enter the critical section. Okay. So in this way log variable will work. So here you see till now mutual exclusion is not violated. So does it mean that it supports mutual exclusion? Just think. Okay, let me tell you. You see, this log variable doesn't support mutual exclusion. So I think you might be confused because whatever condition I've shown you till now, in every condition you can see that it totally supports mutual exclusion. But log variable doesn't support mutual exclusion. That's the reality. You see how. Let me tell you. Okay, let's start from the beginning. There are two processes, process P1 and process P2. Fine. Suppose process P1 wants to enter inside the critical section. Since critical section is vacant, so log variable is 0. Okay. Log variable is 0. Okay. Now in the while loop, 0 is not equal to 0, false. So while loop will be broken. Okay. While loop will be broken. So now P1 will go to line number 2. You see, P1 has executed line number 1 and now P1 will go to line number 2. But suppose if before P1 could go to line number 2, if preemption happened at this point, once again I tell you, just please listen carefully. P1 executed line number 1. Okay. Log value was 0. 0 not equal to 0, true. Okay. Now, this while loop will be broken. After breaking the while loop, P1 will come to line number 2. Okay. But before P1 could, after completion of line number 1, after executing line number 1, before P1 could enter in the line number 2, the preemption will happen. Okay. And now CPU will be given to process P2, suppose. So since the preemption has happened at this point, so line number 2 couldn't get executed by process P1. Okay. You just think it as process P1 is present here. Okay. At the interface of line number 1 and 2. Process P1 has not yet executed line number 2. Okay. So, since process P1 could not execute line number 2, so the log value will remain as 0, because here P1 because the log value is not updated as 1 as it is written in line number 2. Okay. And now you see preemption has occurred. Okay. So CPU is given to process P2. So what process P2 will do? P2 will execute line number 1 while log not equal to 0. Okay, while log not equal to 0. So here you see, what is the value of log? The value of log is 0 itself. It has not changed to 1. Okay. So here you see, what P2 will execute? 0 not equal to 0. Obviously, this is a false statement. 0 is not equal to 0. It's a wrong statement. So while loop will be broken for P2 also. So now P1 and P2 are here. Okay. Now you see, since P2 is executing, so now P2 will execute line number 2. Okay. CPU is with process P2. Okay. So now P2 is executing line, P2 will execute line number 2, P2 will make as lock is equal to 1. Okay. At line number 2, lock is equal to 1 is there, and after that P2 will enter inside the critical section. Okay. So you see, process P2 is inside the critical section, and you see whether process P1 can enter inside the critical section. Generally, lock 1 means what? Critical section is not vacant. Okay, and obviously here you see critical section is not vacant and lock is equal to 1. But you see, still process P1 will enter. You see, process P1 initially was here. Process P1 already executed line number 2. Now process P1 already executed line number 1. Now process P1 will execute line number 2. It means what? Process P1 will start from here, not from here, because this line is already executed by P1. So process P1 will execute line number 2. Okay. In line number 2, it's written lock is equal to 1. Okay. Once again, I tell you, when process P2 enters the critical section, okay, then again preemption happens. Now it's it's P2's turn. Okay. So it's P1's turn. Okay. Initially CPU was with P2. Now again CPU is given to P1. So P1 will start from this point, from this dotted line. Okay. So in line number 2, it's written lock is equal to 1. Okay. And you see, lock is already 1. P1 will make it as further 1. And after executing this line, P1 entered in the critical section. Now you tell me, is it mutual exclusion? No, because here you see, when one process is already inside the critical section, another process has also entered inside it. It means what? In this critical section, you see simultaneously there are two processes. Okay. So here you see mutual exclusion is violated. So it means what? One of the most important requirement of process synchronization is violated here, mutual exclusion. Okay. So here we don't need to check for progress or bounded waiting, all these things, because these are the requirements of process synchronization. Okay. If the primary requirement is not satisfied, then why should you go to check whether it will satisfy bounded waiting or not, whether it will satisfy progress or not, because mutual exclusion is one of the most important property. Okay. So it means what? Lock variable does not support mutual exclusion. ME means mutual exclusion. Okay. And also you see, there is a busy waiting problem is there. Busy waiting problem means what? Here you see, okay, I'll tell you. I hope you know the meaning of busy waiting problem. I already discussed in the last lecture. So here with this code, I will try to explain you how busy waiting will be there. You see, suppose you see, one process is inside the critical section. Okay, P1 is, there are two processes, P1 and P2, and P1 is inside the critical section. Okay, when P1 is inside the critical section, then definitely P1 might have gone through this line number 1 and 2. Okay, so P1 has made the value of lock to 1. Initially, the lock value should be 0 always. So after executing line number 2, the value of lock is 1. Okay. So now, when P2 wants to enter inside the critical section, okay, you can see here, P2 will execute this code while lock not equal to 0. It means what? The value of lock is 1. 1 is not equal to 0. So it means what? P2 got stuck in this while loop. Stucking in the while loop means what? It will do nothing. It will do nothing, but it will continuously knocking the door of this entry section. Just open the door for me. I want to enter inside the critical section. Here you see P2 has stuck into this while loop again and again and again. Okay, until P1 comes out of this critical section, until P1 could make the value of lock is equal to 0, till then process P2 will keep on waiting. Okay, process P2 will be stuck in the while loop. Here you see process P2 is not doing any useful activity. Okay, it is just simply waiting. It's and you see in the computer science, waiting means what? It's simply wasting the CPU cycle. Here process P2 could have done another useful task. Okay, but rather than doing the useful task, it's just simply waiting in the while loop. Okay, so that's why log variable, it suffers from busy. One important point you see here, you see log variable suffers from mutual log variable doesn't support mutual exclusion. Why this problem arise? Due to the preemption after line number 1. Okay, and you see, if somehow the code is written, if the code is written in such a way that there should be no preemption between line number 1 and 2, suppose, think it as an atomic instruction. Suppose line number 1 and 2 is an atomic instruction, or you just think it as a single instruction. Okay, just imagine it's written in a single line. It's totally single instruction. Here interleaving or preemption can't be happened. So in that manner, if this is possible, then I think mutual exclusion can be guaranteed. Okay, in the next lecture, in the test and set instruction, everything will be more clear to you. Okay, thank you.